Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ignite. This week, I'm excited to be here with Julie from Cheeky Chompers. Julie, welcome. I want to start off by just getting a little bit of a description into your business. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so Cheeky Chompers design and manufactures baby products with a difference. Each one has a little intuitive twist to help make parents' lives easier.
Oh, that is intriguing. I want to know what the twist is, but we will get there in just a minute. Before we do that, I would love to find out a little bit about you. Can you tell me where are you from? Where did you go to school? And what were you like in school?
Oh, so I went to school in Edinburgh. I was born in Edinburgh. I was really sporty. That was my passion. I just played basketball, played volleyball, played lots of sports. Got the exams and qualifications. But yeah, my priority really at school was sport, which I loved. And then I went on to university and I did sports science because I was really interested in sport. And then I started working in sports and fitness and things for years.
Fantastic. And who were your role models when you were young?
I guess for me, I was from a big family. There was six of us, so my role models were really my big sisters. I had three big sisters, one of which played basketball for the UK, and so she was a big role model. So a lot of that was actually internal in the family. I really wanted to be like them, and yeah, lots of external people. Like I always liked different people that were achieving different things that weren't just the run of the mill. I always liked people a wee bit off centre.
Nice. And did you at that point in your life think about being an entrepreneur? Was it on your radar?
I always liked kind of selling things, even from a child. I remember working in the tuck shop and buying them from the tuck shop myself and selling them for more later on at the basketball game. So I always had this kind of something inside me that was about doing something for myself, but it wasn't a choice really then. People didn't, it wasn't the right job to do. But now looking back to my younger self, yeah, I would have loved to have done it earlier because it gives you the freedom to do that. But yeah.
Interesting. So that entrepreneurial mindset and way of being was always there, even if it wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily in the form of a business. And so you said that when you finished university, you went to work in the sports world. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you did?
Yeah, so I worked in health clubs. So I worked in about four different health clubs, which was great, getting people fit. And then I managed to work myself up to manage a big health club. And then I worked for a company that was all about keeping people fit in their companies. So that was really interesting. And so I loved doing that. And then when I was doing a presentation about what was happening in the British business, about fitness and industry, I was offered a place to go for a job in Australia to do exactly the same. So I worked in Australia for 4 years, working with companies setting up health clubs and motivating people to keep fit.
That sounds fun. And how then do you go from fitness and sports clubs to baby products? Talk to me about where did that come along?
Okay, so then I came back to Scotland and I got married, got pregnant, had a little baby, and we were in the antenatal classes, which is when all the mums meet together when they had the babies, and all the babies were throwing their teethers on the floor. They were all teething. So I met with one of my colleagues, who's now my co-director and co-founder, and we said, I wish someone would invent a teether that stayed attached to the baby, so they can't throw it on the floor, because when it gets dirty, it gets, it's germs and things. So that is how Cheeky Chompers started. We thought, why don't we do it? What's stopping us? We're on maternity leave. We've just got babies to do. We're not working at the moment. Let's look at an idea of how we can attach a teether to the baby. And that's really how it started. And my co-founder was always entrepreneurial as well. So we met together. That's the first time we'd met. And actually, we're still together now, 14 years later. The business has been going.
That was the first time you met.
Yeah. And
That's
then,
amazing. That's absolutely brilliant. And so really the business came from a problem that you personally had that you observed that you were like, this is annoying. This is driving me crazy. Who's
yeah.
going to do something about this? And then all of a sudden, well, maybe it could be me that does something about it.
Yeah, and sometimes it's the simplest ideas. But actually, what's interesting is that we thought, well, there'll be lots of people out there. So then you have to go and research and say, actually, this must be out there. There must be a teether that attaches to the baby. And actually, there wasn't. So then there's the light bulb moment, and wow, this could be ideal. Two really common products for babies, a bib and a teether. Why don't we join them together? And that's when our first product, I don't know if you can see that, but the first product, so this is the teether and this is the bib. So we joined them together in one product, and the necker chew is what the product's called, was born. Everywhere we went, people said, I can't believe no one's thought of that before. But yeah, so that was a good lucky idea, and I think all the good businesses start with an idea that's really practical and fills a gap that's not being filled.
And so you said the first steps you took were to do some research. What other actions did you take to have it go from just an idea in your head to something that was real?
So we had to get to the point of saying, what would it be made of? What size would it be? What's the best? What's the best in the market? Because we were mums, we wanted the best for the babies, so it's safe. What could we do that makes it safe? What could we do that is safe to chew? What's the best shape to get the teeth coming through? So all the little bits that you do in the product development stage, to make sure that you get the best product. And then the next big stage is to get what's called a prototype. So get something pulled together that looks like the product or is the product, and there's lots of ways to do that depending on the product, and get that prototype out to people that are your market. So our market was really obvious. So our market were parents, people who had babies who were teething. But also, actually, as we went on, we realised our market was also gift buyers, people who want to buy baby products for others, like offices or grandparents. So you have to kind of think, does that work for them? So what we did, we did focus groups, it's called. So we got groups of mums together and we tried with the prototype with their babies. We got groups of grandparents together and we got groups of gift buying people together, and we learned so much from them. We changed it, adapted it, made it reversible, lots of ideas, made it very absorbent. There's lots of things we did from listening to customers in terms of potential customers, what we would do. And I think a lot of people miss that stage because they come up with an idea and think, yay, let's put money into going out and selling. But actually, you just need to think through who's it for and what does it look like, and then ask them and be prepared to listen, because actually you become very close to your idea and you don't really like people giving you input. But yeah, so that's what we did.
And how did you get your first sales? Like, was it to those mums you knew?
Not really. I mean, the first thing we did was we started a website. So we ordered product to be made in Glasgow, and to find a factory and all the things you have to do to make it, and so we got product made, and then we started a website, and it had one product on it with 3 designs. It was very basic, and we were really conscious not to put loads of money in until we tested the market. It was really important. So we just did what we could afford, started slow, and then we started this 1-page website, which was very basic, and sold on that. And then we paid to go to both what's called a consumer show, so a show that's like all the parents would come to see what's available for babies. And we went to a trade show, which is a show that's really good for retailers or people who are in companies that want to buy baby products like John Lewis and things. So we went to these 2 different shows and it was amazing, absolutely amazing. The mums just thought, oh my God, I wish I'd thought of that. It's just such a simple idea. We were very lucky. So we really got a lot of sales and a lot of feedback and things about design mainly. So we felt confident. But then we went to the trade show, and the first customer we got was John Lewis. And that was amazing. And so we got into all the John Lewis stores across the UK, and then we got into Jojo Mama Baby, which is another big baby shop. But also we met lots and lots of little baby shops around the country, which were really interested in ours. So at that stage, really early on, we realised there was something in this. People were liking it. It was unique enough. So we really had 4 routes, what we call to market. So the first route was our website. So we always had that, and now we've developed it more. We've got lots more products now, so we have a much bigger website. Also, we went to retailers, so little retailers like sort of your mum and pop stores in your high streets and stuff. And then we went to John Lewis and some of the bigger Next now, and quite a lot of the bigger stores sell us. But then we also went to places like Amazon, because Amazon was great because that's online and that goes across the world actually. So we're in Amazon in the UK, Europe and America. So all of a sudden you start to grow. And then you start to get interest from what's called distributors. So these are people that are based all around the world, and they have companies that buy bulk, buy lots of product, and then they'll sell it to their stores and their shops in their country. So actually you start to learn, and we had no idea. I had literally no idea about retail, no idea about making things. So you have to learn on the go, and you have to get it wrong. We got it wrong lots, but you just, by getting it wrong, we understood what you need to do to get it right, and I think that's really important. So that's kind of the different routes to market.
I think it's interesting, actually. I hear sometimes from entrepreneurs that they say, "Oh, I decided to choose one route to market, to just do retail or just do direct to consumer." But obviously, you were doing a wide range of them. Can you just talk to me a little bit about why you've done that and what you think the benefits of that are?
I think we did it really fast because at that very first trade show I talked about, we had Dragon's Den approach us. So that that was, I think, a bit of a sort of big step up because we went on Dragon's Den and there was like 4.2 million people watching that series. So we literally went from nobody knowing about us or just a few local, to being everywhere. And so we almost had to run to catch up because people were coming to us to say, can we buy Cheeky Chompers? Can we do this? Can we? So actually, we did it quicker than we probably would have really in the long run because actually it was a lot to do in a lot of different markets to do at once. I think if we were doing our time again, you'd really want to establish your home market. Try getting, everything, your website set up, everything ready, and then make sure you're in your home market really strongly and then go out. But we kind of almost did it within the first year. We were like out across the world. But we learned, we got a good team behind us and we just kept going, to selling across the
And
world.
how long was it? Sorry, how long was it from when you kind of came up with the idea to when you were on Dragon's Den?
So we came up with the idea in November. We were on Dragon's Den in February, but it wasn't shown for a year. So by the time it was shown,
But that's amazing.
yeah, by the time it was shown, we'd kind of beaten all the targets that they said we wouldn't, but here we did.
Let's talk a little bit. That first of all, that's amazing how quickly though you were able to come up with the idea and then get on and have the show filmed in just a few months. So let's talk a little bit about the Dragon's Den show and experience. What was it like?
Very
If you
frightening.
can.
And they weren't human beings, they were in character. So you from the minute you meet them till the minute you leave, they're completely in character. And we were in front of them for an hour and a half. It was a long, and only it was like 12 minutes gets shown on the TV. But it was fine, and they loved our product, they loved our brand, they loved the fact Cheeky Chompers was just so simple and straightforward and a great idea. But because we'd only been going 11 weeks at that point, it was really difficult for them to say, well, actually, that's worth that, and that. But
Did you get investment?
no, we didn't because we were too young and we'd asked for quite a lot. But we really didn't want it. If you can imagine, we wanted the PR exposure, but we were thinking that we would go to the back and decide. But they all said, we love your brand. We just can't invest. You haven't given us the space to. So yeah, it was good though.
It does show though that, right, you have this what could be in the moment perceived by some people as a failure, but actually for you it was a massive win, and it did not necessarily hold you back at all.
Especially because it was a year later when it went out, and by that stage we were saying we're going to hit £100,000, in the first year, and we did something like 400,000, so we'd just gone better than even we thought we would because it just kept selling. So that was a good start.
That's brilliant. So tell me about the business now. What does it look like?
So we have been through a really bumpy phase, to be truthful, with COVID. Now you imagine we were selling to shops. All the shops were shut. We were selling to distributors. We couldn't get anything sent overseas. We were selling across the world and it was just really difficult. So we had to really be flight of foot and really quick and change quickly to change to everything online. So that really affected our business. So that was a hard part for us to deal with. And then the next part really that was really difficult was Brexit because we had 60% of our sales into Europe. And again, we've just had to be really resilient because all overnight, literally, we couldn't sell into Europe. And now we're building that back up again and we're starting to sell back into Europe. But that's taken 2 or 3 years really to get back to where it was. So now, but we have 12 different products. We have products that are like little teethers now. We have a whole character chain with elephants and lions. We also have gift boxes. So we realised the gift market was really growing and people loved buying a gift for a baby. So we do these lovely gift boxes. And then we also diversified, which means changed to a different market because we got a real demand from people who are older and either maybe disabled or all needs who wanted bibs that were much bigger but still had the chewy bit on there. So actually that's something that we didn't even know when we started the business would be an option, and we get lovely stories for the difference that makes to people because it catches dribble and they can chew when they've got oral sensory chewing. So it's a funny thing, you start with an idea but actually you have to respond to opportunities as well along the way. So that's where we are now, and we're just growing and just trying to ride the storm that is entrepreneurship.
You talked about, the roller coaster of entrepreneurship. That challenge bit of it is a very real part of it. And thank you for sharing, that vulnerability of what you've had to go through. Can you just talk a little bit about how you've kept yourself resilient and how you face those challenges head on when they happen?
You just have to stop because I just like look at what is actually happening because it can become emotive. You're oh my God, all that's gone. What do we do? Luckily, there's two of us. So it's quite nice to be able to sit down and say, right, okay, we are where we are. Nobody's died. Let's move on. Let's look at what the options are and let's see what we can do here. But yeah, you do have to be really resilient because you're not in control when there's things like that happen, like COVID and Brexit. We didn't have anything to do with it; just happened to us. So you just have to say, okay, well, where can we sell? So we did so much on social media and trying to get closer to our customers ourselves. We expanded our website and did lots more personalization and things. But it's just about digging deep, actually, and it's
I
hard.
think it's such a good lesson, though, in so many aspects of life, right? Things are going to happen to you that you couldn't control. It's nothing you did. It's nothing personal, and it's about recognizing that and then just figuring out, okay, what can I do? What actions can I take? So, what other thinking about budding entrepreneurs that might be out there? What other tips and advice might you give them?
I think is just listen to your gut. If you've got passion in your gut and you think there's an opportunity, try and work it out. Get a blank piece of paper and write down your idea, and then write down who would it be for, and then speak to other people about it. Other people have got ideas too, and they can build on your idea. But I would, if you feel that you've got an idea and you think there's a market for it, that people would actually buy something that you've got to sell, why not try it? Why not look at it? Look at it in more detail. Research. Is anyone else doing that? Is there a gap that's open for you to fill? So I think at school it's important to have some basics. I think it's really important. Like I'm glad I did maths, for instance, because we had to learn all about that. I'm glad I did geography because sometimes we're selling to somewhere and you think, oh, where's that again? And what do they have? What's their currency? And just information about that. And English is really important when you're communicating with people. But I think if you've got resilience, that's a really good thing. If you're good with people and you're good about communicating, that's a really good thing. And it's for everybody. Anybody who can actually get up and present something can have their own business. I really think that.
And are there any activities or extracurriculars or things like that that you might recommend that young people do to help them build some of those skills?
I think it's good to follow people. That's what I would do. Is if you've got an interest in a specific, if it's technology, I don't follow someone who's developed a technology company or read about what they did and how they pulled it together. I think that's one of the key things. It's almost creating an interest and understanding what others have done, not necessarily the idea, but the way it's been brought to life. So, yeah, I would say that, and sound people out. Find out people who are your market. So if you're making something for other teenagers, found some other teenagers out, ask them, what do you think about this as an idea? Now you'll get all the old, oh, that's rubbish, and why would you do that? You get that, we got that from everybody. But no, actually, if it's a good idea, you believe in it, go and find out more about it. And then there's teachers, support, there's other people that I guess you could speak to about that route that's not just your traditional route into a job. I'm glad I worked in other places first. So it's not necessarily a thing to go straight out of school into, because I do think experience is really important, but choose the right company, even at a low level, whatever you do, to get in there, to understand and keep watching and keep learning from people.
You don't have to have it all figured out right now, right? You can do a bunch of different jobs, and then that can add up to building those skills that you need to make your dream a reality. Last question for you. If you were back in high school right now, sitting in a classroom, what do you wish you knew then that you know now?
That you can do anything. Genuinely, that actually it's hard learning sometimes. Do as much as you can and get as much as you can, but you can do anything if you believe in it and you've got passion for it. So try it. What have you got to lose? Just keep working away as hard as you can, and then believe in yourself, because you guys can do anything.
Fantastic. Julie, thank you so much. It has been so fun talking to you. Love hearing about your business. Wishing you lots of luck. And yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much, Karen.